Stress. Just hearing the word can make your shoulders tense up, right? It's a word that, honestly, often brings up feelings of anxiety, pressure, and just being overwhelmed. For many of us, stress is almost like a warning sign flashing in our minds, telling us to brace ourselves for something difficult or uncomfortable. Most of us see it as something negative, something we should avoid at all costs. We picture stress as this dark cloud that follows us around, threatening to rain on our parade. But what if I told you that stress isn't always bad? What if, instead of being the villain, stress could actually be a secret ally? Actually, it can be a pretty powerful force for growth and achievement in our lives. Think about it for a second. When was the last time you did something amazing without feeling at least a little bit of stress beforehand? That excitement you feel before a big presentation, that flutter in your stomach, is actually your body gearing up to help you perform. The adrenaline rush before a competition, the way your senses sharpen and your focus narrows, those are all forms of stress too. Or even that focused determination when a deadline is looming, those are all forms of stress. In these moments, stress can actually help us tap into hidden reserves of energy and creativity. It's really just our body's natural response to a challenge, pushing us to step up and do our best. Stress can be the spark that ignites our motivation and helps us break through barriers. The thing is, stress only becomes a problem when it's constant and unrelenting. When we've found, that's when it starts to affect our physical and mental health, leading to burnout, anxiety, and, honestly, a bunch of other issues. Our bodies and minds aren't built to handle nonstop stress without a break. So how do we use stress to our advantage without letting it get the best of us? How do we find that balance between using stress as fuel and not letting it burn us out? It starts with realizing that stress is just a normal part of life, not something to be scared of or avoid completely. In fact, learning to accept and understand stress can make us more resilient. It's about finding healthy ways to manage and channel stress, turning it from something that holds us back into something that helps us grow. When we learn to work with stress instead of against it, we can unlock our true potential. Our brains are actually wired to respond to stress in a pretty specific way. Over thousands of years, this wiring has helped humans survive in a world full of unpredictable dangers. Even though our daily lives have changed a lot, our brains still react to stress as if we're facing life or death situations. When we sense a threat, our sympathetic nervous system jumps into action, releasing hormones like adrenaline and cortisol. These chemicals flood our bodies, making our hearts beat faster, sharpening our senses, and getting us ready to respond quickly. This is what people call the fight or flight response. It's a really old survival mechanism that gets our bodies ready to either face danger or run away. It's automatic, and it happens before we even have time to think about it. In the short term, this stress response can be super helpful, giving us the energy and focus we need to handle tough situations. It can help us power through a big presentation, react quickly in an emergency, or push ourselves to meet a challenge. But when we're constantly hit with stressors, whether they're real or just in our heads, our brains can get stuck in a state of chronic stress. Instead of helping us, this constant activation starts to wear us down, making it harder to relax or feel safe. This is where the whole cycle of seeking and reacting comes in. Our brains get used to the rush, and we start to repeat the same patterns over and over, even if they're not good for us. When we're used to being stressed out, our brains actually start to crave that stimulation. It's almost like we become uncomfortable with calm or quiet moments, and we look for ways to stir things up. We can get kind of addicted to the adrenaline rush, even if it's making us miserable. The body gets used to those stress chemicals, and we might even feel restless or bored without them. This can show up in a bunch of different ways. Sometimes we might not even realize we're doing it, but our habits and choices keep feeding the stress cycle. Maybe we find ourselves drawn to drama or conflict, seeking out situations that keep us on edge or emotionally charged. Or we procrastinate on important stuff and only feel motivated when a deadline is right around the corner, using last-minute pressure as a way to kickstart our focus. Sometimes we just feel anxious and on edge when things are calm, like we're always waiting for something bad to happen. This cycle can be exhausting, but understanding it is the first step toward breaking free. One of the best ways to handle stress is by taking control of your time. When you feel overwhelmed, it can seem like your schedule is running you, instead of the other way around. But with a few simple strategies, you can flip the script and regain a sense of calm and order. When your to-do list feels endless, it's so easy to fall into procrastination and avoidance. The more tasks pile up, the harder it is to know where to start, and that can make you feel stuck. But honestly, that just leads to even more stress and anxiety over time. The cycle can feel never-ending, but it doesn't have to be that way. The trick is to set up a schedule that works for you and stick to it as much as you can. Even a loose plan can make a big difference in how you feel about your day. This doesn't mean you have to map out every single minute, but it does mean making space for work, relaxation, and everything else that's important. Think of your schedule as a tool to help you, not something that controls you. Start by figuring out your most important tasks and schedule those first. Prioritizing helps you focus your energy where it matters most, so you don't waste time on less important things. Then break down bigger projects into smaller, more manageable steps. This makes even the toughest tasks feel doable and gives you a clear path forward. That way, things feel less overwhelming and it's easier to stay motivated. Each small win builds your confidence and keeps you moving ahead. And don't forget to block out time for breaks and downtime. Giving yourself permission to pause is just as important as getting things done. It might sound a little backwards, but taking regular breaks can actually boost your productivity in the long run. Short pauses help your brain reset and prevent burnout. When you let your mind rest and recharge, you'll come back to your work feeling refreshed and ready to focus. Remember, managing your time well is one of the most powerful ways to reduce stress and take care of yourself every day. Learning to say no is honestly such an important skill for managing stress. When you're always saying yes to every request and obligation, you're basically giving away your time and energy to everyone else. That can leave you feeling drained, resentful, and totally overwhelmed. It's really important to remember that you have the right to set boundaries and put your own well-being first. This means being a little more selective about what you commit to and saying no to things that don't match up with your priorities or values. Of course, saying no isn't always easy. We might worry about letting people down, hurting relationships, or missing out on something good. But the thing is, saying no to one thing usually means you're saying yes to something else, something that matters more to you. When you get comfortable setting healthy boundaries and prioritizing your needs, you'll find you have more time and energy for what truly matters. Our daily lives are filled with mundane tasks and routines, washing dishes, folding laundry, commuting to work. It's easy to approach these activities with a sense of drudgery and obligation. But what if we could find a way to infuse them with a bit of joy and purpose? This is where the idea of romanticizing your daily routine comes in. It's about finding ways to make even the most ordinary tasks feel more enjoyable and meaningful. For example, instead of viewing your morning commute as a chore, try listening to an inspiring podcast or audiobook. It's about finding the little things that bring you joy and incorporating them into your daily routine. When you approach your day with a sense of curiosity and appreciation, even the most mundane tasks can become more enjoyable. Our mindset plays a powerful role in how we experience stress. When we approach tasks and obligations with a sense of dread and obligation, thinking, "I have to do this," it creates unnecessary resistance and stress. But what if we could shift our perspective to one of gratitude and opportunity? Instead of thinking, "I have to go to work," try reframing it as, "I get to go to work." Instead of, "I have to cook dinner," try, "I get to nourish my body with a delicious meal." This simple shift in language can have a profound impact on our mindset. It helps us to focus on the positive aspects of our situation and appreciate the opportunities we have, rather than dwelling on the things we have to do. When we approach our day with a sense of gratitude, we're more likely to experience joy, contentment, and fulfillment, even in the midst of challenges. In addition to shifting our mindset, there are two of the most effective are mindfulness and movement. Mindfulness is the practice of paying attention to the present moment without judgment. This can involve simple activities like focusing on your breath, noticing the sensations in your body, or paying attention to the sights and sounds around you. Regular mindfulness practice has been shown to reduce stress, improve focus, and promote emotional regulation. It helps us to become more aware of our thoughts and feelings without getting swept away by them. Movement is another powerful stress reliever. Whether it's going for a run, practicing yoga, or simply taking a brisk walk, physical activity helps to release endorphins, reduce muscle tension, and improve sleep. Find a form of movement that you enjoy and make it a regular part of your routine. Even a few minutes of exercise each day can make a big difference in your stress levels. We're social creatures by nature, and strong social connections are essential for our well-being. When we're feeling stressed or overwhelmed, reaching out to friends, family, or a therapist can provide invaluable support and perspective. Talking about what's stressing us out can help us to process our emotions, gain clarity, and feel less alone. It can also remind us that we're not alone in our struggles and that there are people who care about us and want to help. Don't be afraid to ask for help when you need it. Whether it's a listening ear, a shoulder to cry on, or practical assistance, there are people in your life who want to support you. Mastering stress is not a destination, but a journey, a continuous process of self-discovery, learning, and growth. There will be times when you feel stressed, overwhelmed, and unsure of what to do. That's okay. It's all part of the process. The key is to approach this journey with a sense of curiosity, compassion, and a willingness to experiment. Try different stress management techniques and see what works best for you. Some days will be easier than others, and that's okay too. Remember to celebrate your successes along the way, no matter how small they may seem. Every step you take towards a calmer, more peaceful life is a victory worth celebrating. And don't forget to keep learning and growing. There are always new tools and techniques to discover, new insights to gain, and new levels of peace and fulfillment to experience. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel to see more helpful videos.